Yes.
And over to you, Prabhu. Thank you very much once again. So,
Thank
request
you
you
so
to
much.
kindly bestow the mercy upon all of us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the kind words. And I think it is all of your mercy that we are getting this opportunity to discuss Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you're doing a very, very wonderful initiative of discussing Chaitanya Charitamrita in a very regular format, and all the devotees who are hearing are very, very fortunate. So I am very, very thankful to Ramanand Kanai Prabhu, Nitin Narsim Prabhu, and everybody else whose cooperation this has been possible. In fact, there is no greater boon in human life than being invited to discuss Krishna Katha, Chaitanya Charitamrita in between among devotees. So very, very happy to be here. And I was particularly looking at the verse. So this today we are going to discuss about Krishna Karnamrita and Bilva Mangal Thakur. So that is also a very wonderful opportunity. So what I will do is I'll first start with Guru Vandana, then we'll project the verses, read, and then we can discuss. Om Ajnanatimirānandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Dadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Jaitam Surator Pango Mamandavatir Gati Mat Sarvasva Padambojo Radha Madhya. Hare Krishna. So today we will be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. Madhya Leela, we are going to read from verse from the 9th chapter, verse number 304. That's right. So what we will do is we will read the verses, 5-6 verses, and then we will discuss. Tabe Mahaprabhu Aila Krishna Vena Tire Nana Tirtha Dehi Tahan Devata Mandire. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next went to the bank of Krishna Vena river, where he visited many holy places and the temples of various gods. The river is a branch of river Krishna. It is said that Thakur Bilvamangala resided on the banks of this river, which is also called Veena, the Veni, Sina, and the Bhima. So this is a very important thing. We'll discuss more about this pastime, but first we'll read the verses. Brahmana Samaj Sabha Vaishnava Charita Vaishnava Sakala Pade Krishna Karanamrita. The Brahman community there was composed of pure devotees. They regularly studied a book entitled Krishna Karnamrita, which was composed by Bilvamangal Thakur. This book was composed by Bilvamangal Thakur in 112 verses. There are 2 or 3 other books bearing the same name, and there are also 2 commentaries on Bilvamangal Thakur's book, Bilvamangala's book. One commentary was written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and other by Chaitanya Das Goswami. Krishna Karanamrita Suni Prabhu Anandaila Agrahara Kari Punti Niti Lekhana Laila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to hear the book Krishna Karnamrita, and with great eagerness he had it copied and took it with him. In fact, we know that Chaitanya Charitamrta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always in the mood, is Krishna who's taken the mood of Radharani. So he's enjoying the Madhurya Rasa. He's playing the role of a devotee. So in his Madhya Leela and then in the later pastimes, you will see that he has been constantly hearing the songs which describe, which have a similar mood. So specifically, he hears songs of the Madhurya pastimes and also a lot on the Viraha. So he used to hear 3 or 4 specific devotees compositions. Of course, Swarup Damodar used to recite them, or he used to hear. Can somebody tell me who are the who are the composers or authors from whom he used to hear? One is mentioned here, which is Bilva Mangal Thakur, Krishna Caritamrta. Which are the other songs he used to hear from other composers? Can anybody tell me? I usually ask questions because that way it becomes interactive. So, and there are no wrong answers, right? So you can, if you're not sure, you can say there is not Kaun Banega Crorepati, you cut your points. So anybody answers becomes Crorepati. That is how it is.
So Chandidas.
Chandidas, yes, very wonderful. Chandidas is one of the one of the authors. He used to listen from one of the devotees. Chandidas, Bilva Mangal Thakur, Krishna Caritamrta. Another prominent person. Another prominent person was
Ramanand.
Sorry? Ramanand and Shava, they were contemporaries. So Ramanand and Swarup Damodar used to always discuss and hear from. But poems of previous devotees which he used to hear, Bilva Mangal Thakur obviously was few centuries before Chandidas, and then another prominent person was Jayadev Goswami. Of course, who wrote Gita Govind. So he used to hear a lot from Jayadev Goswami as well. And there is one other this thing I'm forgetting, but there are 4 people whom he used to hear from, and these songs are the highest mood of Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. And Krishna Caritamrta is one of them, and we will discuss in brief the history of Krishna Caritamrta today. So please understand what we are discussing now is the jewel of jewels, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know that if somebody wrote a poem and he wants to, or poem or some verses, and he wants to recite to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was not allowed. First, Swarup Damodar used to read it, and he used to analyze and used to see if this is matching the mood of Mahaprabhu, then only they will allow that to be recited. So Mahaprabhu, of course, this is Madhya Leela in Antili. You will see when he is in Gambhira in Jagannath Puri, Sridham. So there only he was completely immersed in the mood of Radharani, and he's completely in that mood of contemplating on Madhurya pastimes. So only a few songs are allowed, and one of them is Krishna Caritamrta. So we will discuss about that. We'll first read the rest of the verses, which glorifies Krishna Caritamrta. Caritamrta samavastu nahi tribhuvane yaha itahaya Krishna sudha prema jane prema jnane. There is no comparison to Krishna Caritamrta within the 3 worlds. By studying this book, one is elevated to the knowledge of pure devotional service to Krishna. So this see the glory of Krishna Caritamrta. He is saying Caritamrta, there is nothing compared to, in the 3 worlds, there is nothing like Caritamrta. And if one studies this book, he or she will get the knowledge of pure devotional service. What is the meaning of Krishna Caritamrta? What is the meaning of the word Krishna Caritamrta?
Hearing the Krishna our ears, Prabhuji.
Sorry?
Hearing the Krishna Katha from our ears.
Hearing Krishna Katha from our ears, okay, one. Any other meaning?
Krishna Katha is a nectar to the ears.
Krishna Katha is nectar to ears. Okay. Anything else?
It's a merciful nectar. It's a merciful.
Merciful nectar. So, almost like Naman Kanai Prabhu said, almost not 3 decades, but 27 years back, when I sort of read Bhagavad Gita, then I came into Juhu temple and I wanted to attend a lecture. So first they sent me to Prabhupada quarters where there used to be a regular Saturday lecture. Right? And the first lecture that I heard in ISKCON, Prabhu was speaking about Krishna Karnamrta. And he asked the same question, what is the meaning of Krishna Karnamrta? And nobody answered. And I put up my hands and said the same answer that you said, that it is nectar to the ears. Prabhu said, you are wrong. I said, how can that is possible? He said, Krishna Karnamrta means that which is nectar to Krishna's ears. Right? Even for Krishna, this is nectarian. So Krishna likes to hear Krishna Karnamrta. So this was composed to give pleasure to the ears of Krishna. So obviously it is pleasure to our ears also. And it is also nectar for our ears. So that meaning is correct. But specifically, Krishna Karnamrta is that which gives nectar or pleasure to the ears of Krishna. So you can imagine if something gives pleasure to the ears of Krishna, what that composition can be, right? And what devotee should be that Billuvangal Thakur is able to give nectar to Krishna. So I am also again very happy to speak on this verse after 27 years. सौंदर्य माधुर्य कृष्ण लीला रावदी से ही जाने ये कर्णामृता पदे निरवादी. One who constantly reads the Krishna Karnamrita can fully understand the beauty and the melodious taste of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. See the words that is being used. We know Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, right? From the name when it goes, or the pastimes, the verses go, name from the form of the Lord is coming, and from the Lord's form when you observe, then Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. You see the form, then Gunas, all the qualities, and the Leela. Here, if you hear Karnamrta, the form of the Lord will manifest in your heart. And it's a very interesting thing just said, the taste of pastimes of Lord Krishna. If I ask you, what is the taste of gulab jamun, you can probably say something. What is the taste of laddu, you can say something. What is the taste of Krishna's pastimes? Can anybody tell me what is the taste of Krishna's pastimes?
Blissful.
Yeah, very blissful. That is correct.
Cleaning the heart.
Always want to hear more and more when you hear.
Yes, always.
Never get boredom.
Never get boredom. These are qualities of Krishna's pastimes, and obviously Krishna's pastimes include every quality in the universe. So that's why I say whatever answer is correct, right? So you are right. It never get bored. It is blissful. But what is the taste? Taste, you know, right? You eat something, then you. If I eat Karela, the taste is bitter, right? If I eat gulab jamun, there is some taste, right?
Even
Yes.
by hearing Krishna's pastimes, our heart like feel so blissful. It's like Ananda. So keep on, like when you hear more and more. It's not like mundane things. You'll have a different experience.
Right. It is absolutely right. It is. And also in the chat, somebody saying nectarian, so that is also correct. And did somebody raise the hand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Prabhuji, it is transcendental, divine, and full of ecstasy.
It is transcendental, divine, and full of ecstasy. Absolutely right. So these are wonderful qualities of Krishna's pastimes. But specifically, the word itself tells you, when you say Madhurya Rasa, the taste of Krishna's pastimes is sublimely sweet. It is not sweet like gulab jamun, it is not sweet. It is a very unique kind of sweet, where it's very sublime, and very sublime means it's very subtle, it's sublimely sweet. And that sweet, you cannot feel it in the tongue, you will feel it in the core of your heart, at the chitta or at the soul level. You will feel a kind of sweetness. Lord Narayan's pastimes are full of Aishwarya, very opulent. When you hear them, you feel, oh wow, this so many universes come out of one pore of Mahavir's awe and reverence. That is and the taste that it leaves is a honest feeling of. But when you hear Krishna's pastime, it is very sweet, right? In Andhra also, another poet, your Krishna Nama Payasake, Rama Nama Payasake, Krishna Nama Shakkaran. It is Lord Rama's name is like here, and the sugar of Krishna's name. Krishna's name is sweet. It's very, very subtle sweetness. So that taste, if as devotees we have not experienced, we are not pure devotees, we might not experience all the tastes, but even a touch of that taste of sweetness, if you experience, which is possible in Vraja, or hearing the pastimes of Vraja, you will know that what is the taste of Krishna's pastime. So this is what Krishna Caritamrta gives you. Not just the information of the pastimes, not just the beauty of Krishna, but the taste of Krishna's pastime. So we will see how that happens. Brahma Samhita Caritamrta Dui Bunti Pana Maharatna Praya Pali Ahila Sangelana. The Brahma Samhita and Krishna Caritamrta were two books that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered to be most valuable jewels. Therefore, he took them with him on his return trip. Of course, the Brahma Samhita is after Lord Brahma realizes, after the Brahma Vimohana Leela, when he realizes what is Vrindavan, what is Braja, everybody is having so much love towards Krishna. So much love towards Krishna. That Krishna expands as the Gopas, all the mothers love him like anything, all the cows they are not missing their calves, their children, they are loving Krishna more. Right? So Brahma Samhita establishes Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also the love for Krishna, which Brahma realized after seeing the Brahma Vimohana Leela. And the epitome of that sweetness, epitome of the love is Krishna's dealings with the gopis, which is explained in Krishna Caritamrta. So all of these jewels have been unearthed. What happens to Shastras is that when the people are not in the right consciousness, they cannot understand and relish those particular Shastras, that those Shastras become hidden. So we say today so much of the Vedas is lost. It's not lost in that sense, it becomes hidden. And when the Lord comes and when he is distributing that consciousness, these Shastras are unearthed. So Brahma Samhita was discovered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in which temple? Who can tell me? Which in South India trip, which temple did he recover Brahma Samhita from? Yes,
Tiruvattar Adikeshwara Perumal.
Adikeshwara Perumal, yes, very nice. Adikeshwara Perumal, Tiruvattar, yes, very nice, very wonderful. So he recovered before going to Trivandrum, Brahma Samhita, and Krishna Caritamrta. Now he is recovering. So that is what we are going to discuss about. So after that he goes to river Tapi. So we will not go into that. We will today discuss the pastimes of this Krishna Caritamrta. There are some questions, right? What are the questions? First, why is Krishna Caritamrta so glorious? What is the glory of Krishna Caritamrta? Where here it is said that there is nothing like that in 3 words. Second, how is that Bilvamangal Thakur was able to see these kind of pastimes and explain the most intimate pastimes of Krishna, which even the gopis have trouble in seeing. For example, some of the pastimes gopis have to stand out when Radha and Krishna in the Nikunj, within the Kunja, the grove of the forest, gopis actually stand out. Only the manjaris, the young girls, can go in. That is why Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya is a sampradaya for manjaris, and all devotees aspire to become manjaris, which are servants of the gopis. But the unique thing about manjaris is they can enter any pastime. They are not prohibited. They can go in even when Radha and Krishna are in the and they can do service. They can give betel leaf, they can give the rasa, juice, and everything. So, how is it that Krishna Caritamrta, Bilvamangal Thakura is able to see this? And third, if one has to relish these highest pastimes of Krishna, how Krishna takes a devotee through various twists and turns before he gives him this rasa. Krishna consciousness is not a straight path. Right? If anybody imagines Krishna consciousness as a straight path, then the person is going to be mistaken. In fact, sometimes when I talk to Sri Vaishnava people, they say, "Why are you worshipping Krishna?" I said, "What is the problem? What is the problem in worshipping Krishna?" He said, "No problem, all good, but Krishna's path is twisted like this, like this." So even if you go to Vraja, they will say, "Thakur tede, Maya tedi." Seedha sirf Kishori ji, right? Krishna is always standing three bended form like this, right? Three bends. And Yashoda Maya also, Krishna was born when she was 80 years. So she is also walking with a teda stick. So who is straight in Vrindavan? Who is straight? In Vraja, who is straight? Only Radharani is straight. Right? So, yeah, so if you want mercy, you have to get Radharani's mercy. So you will see how crooked path. That's why all gullies in Vrindavan are teda made. Vrindavan ki galiyan, so it's all teda. So to get into Vrindavan, there is a very, very twisted path, and we will see what is happening there. If we understand the pastime of Bilvamangal Thakur, then we can understand. Bilvamangal Thakur, there are various versions. In the history, there are 2-3 people also named like that. But Bilvamangal Thakur, the original person, some say he was in the 18th century, some say he was in the 12th century. Some say he lived from 8th century to the 12th century, 400 years. But the idea is somewhere 200-300 years before Mahaprabhu advented, Bilvamangal Thakur used to stay on the banks of Bhima or Krishna. Right? And today the place is more towards Andhra Pradesh. Here the mention is more towards Pandharpur because the branch of the river comes there. But Bilvamangal Thakur traveled all the way. He was a very, very astute person. He was almost, shall we say, in one way, he was a devotee, but he used, because in the 8th century and others, largely Shankaracharya's philosophy was there. He used to be following the Brahmavada Sampradaya. I wouldn't call it Mayavad. Maya means they may believe that Krishna is below Maya. But Brahmavad, they ultimately believe in Brahman. And he had written many, many books. He was an ultimate scholar, a Brahmanical scholar. And he was such a scholar that he was almost at the grade of a sannyasi. Though he was grahastha, he was almost the grade of sannyasis. So much that when he used to give lectures, almost some 500-600 sannyasis used to sit and listen. Right? So he was considered almost above sannyasis. So he used to sit under some kind of a banyan tree near his house on this side of the bank of the river Bhima. And when he was giving lectures, he was well known throughout the world. So many people used to come to hear because he had written so many books. He had studied so much, and sannyasis used to hear from him. He used to sit and give lectures on Brahman and on Vedanta Sutra. So he was going on like that. And he was so famous, is the epitome of spiritual so-called jnana or so much in that world. And so much respect he had in the society. Then one day, when he was sitting and giving the lecture, what happened is, on the other side of the river, there used to be not, this side was the village, that side of the river was not too many things. But that side of the river, there used to be a cottage where a society girl, or you can, in modern language, you can say a prostitute, but prostitute is not the right word, because prostitute is a very strong word. In those days, even somebody who dances in the public was considered a society person, because the women used to never dance in public. But you can say, in one sense, prostitute also, because there are many people she used to have association with. A prostitute or a society girl named Chintamani used to be there. And Chintamani used to be in the cottage. She used to play her veena or sitar or whatever she used to play, and she used to sing very beautifully. Sing very beautifully. And when Bilvamangal Thakur was giving lecture, that song used to reach. Now we need to know, as devotees, the way to Krishna and the way to Maya. Both lies through which organ? One of the most, but of course, tongue is most potent, but the ear, depending on where you give the ear, it will immediately catch. So here he is narrating Vedanta Sutra, but he gave his ear, he heard the song sung by Chintamani. And it was so captivating that his entire, attention was grabbed. And eventually, a few times when he heard, he became so attracted that he wanted to go and see who is singing. So, though he was prestigious, even higher than sannyasi, one day he went to the other side, and he saw this is actually Chintamani, and she is staying alone. So he started associating with her, and as power of material attraction goes, suddenly the word started to spread in the village that this person, who is a spiritual person, is going and associating with a prostitute at the other side of the river. Right? And eventually, everybody started to, get to hear this. They were all surprised. This is a very important question. How can a person almost higher than the level of sannyasi, who is discussing the meanings of Vedanta Sutra, is caught up in this kind of a thing? Because already in a normal devotee situation, they would cross 4 regulative principles and so on. This guy is so high. So much so that what happened, that even his wife and others got to know that this is what is happening. And his wife became so morose, because she was a very, very chaste lady, very top-class chaste lady, who used to serve him a very, very chaste manner. And she was a devotee of par excellence. But when she heard this about his husband, she became very, very disappointed. So she tried in many ways to make him understand. But the attraction towards Chintamani was so strong that Bilvamangal Thakur could not resist. So much so that what happened, one day, Bilvamangal Thakur's father passed away. And when the father passed away, the puja, the Brahmin came to do the Antim Kriya and everything. At that point in time, suddenly Bilvamangal Thakur again developed the desire to go and see Chintamani. So all the village people were there. The Agni Sanskar was going on, but Bilvamangal Thakur was shouting, "Do it fast, say the sloka fast." Some marriages, sometimes, this pujari goes, Brahmana goes, they won't allow him to even say the mantra of, marriage. They'll say, "Hey, jaldi, jaldi." They want to dance, they want to eat. They don't want to, they don't understand what is the importance. But Bilvamangal Thakur knew all importance. He knew everything. But he's saying, "Hey, finish fast." And everybody is becoming very astonished. Why is he doing like this? And as soon as in the evening everything finished, in the night, immediately he started to run towards the river. And at that night, there was a very huge storm. Such huge storm was there. This story is said for many devotees, but actually it is Bilvamangal Thakur's story. Sometimes people mix this up with Tulsidas' story and other people's story. It was actually Bilvamangal Thakur. There was so much of storm that was going on. and the river was, almost overflowing, and so much waves was happening. And when Bilvamangal Thakur was running out, his wife saw that the dead of the night is running out. She also became concerned. She started following him in the distance. So Bilvamangal Thakur wanted to cross over the river and go to the other side. So Bilvamangal Thakur came to the bank of the river, and his wife following came to the bank of the river slightly, up current, and she was seeing from the tree what is he trying to do. So he was seeing that this river is overflowing, and there is no boat person, nothing. The current is very strong, but still he didn't want to go back. He wanted to cross somehow. So he tried to go in, but the current was pushing him out. So he was trying and trying. Now this chaste lady, she was so chaste. She was completely disappointed. I recommend this. Please don't hear this story and do something like this. This is a unique pastime of Krishna. So please, this is not for imitation. What Krishna takes some of his advanced devotees through, we cannot do the same thing. For us, what Prabhupada has recommended is that we should chant, preach, and go through the difficulties of life. But this is a unique pastime where the wife saw that my husband is wanting to do this, and I know there's no point in me continuing this life, but at least in my death, let me assist. So she jumped into the river, and she immediately drowned, and she died. And it is said that her dead body came up and floated down the river. And Bilvamangal Thakur saw, oh, there is a log of wood coming. So he jumped and caught on to that dead body. And with the help of dead body, went down current and crossed over to the other side. And went to the other side. So the wife was useful till the last breath. She was that chaste a lady. What we should learn is how we can serve husband or wife or devotees till our last breath. It's not this thing for suicide. But Bilvamangal Thakur crossed over, crossed. There was lightning, storm, forest. He all went through all of that. He went to the cottage. Outside there was a fence. The fence was locked, and the cottage was also locked from inside. And he was shouting, but because so much storm and thunder was there, inside Chintamani could not hear. So he was banging the fence. He could not. So then he saw that there is a rope on the going to the roof. So he immediately climbed on the fence, caught onto the rope, went up, and there is like either a haystack or whatever. He removed those haystack, and the rope was hanging inside. Through that rope, he came down and he fell. Now Chintamani was in her meditation. She was singing and in her meditation. Suddenly he saw this person he came. She thought this night is so stormy, no customers will come today because there's so much of storm. And suddenly he landed. And when he landed, Chintamani, instead of becoming happy, she became very disappointed. And in her disappointment, women can speak sharp words. Women have this quality that if they speak, it will hit the heart. But this was a special quality you will see in the pastime ahead. Chintamani, out of her disgust, spoke. She said, "You are so much lusting after this body which has made of blood, pus, urine is what is made of. If you had the same eagerness for Krishna, you would have attained Krishna by now." When that stuck like thunder, because he had come after so much, he was already a very advanced person. When that words pierced the heart, he was stunned for a moment, and he saw the rope he was hanging was a big python snake. And Chintamani said, "This storm you have crossed, this forest you have crossed, you are hanging by a snake which would have bit you, and you have come in. If you had so much eagerness, you would have attained Krishna." That word changed completely Bilvamangal Thakur, because it went to the heart and triggered his past Krishna consciousness. He started to cry. Chintamani was also crying because she could see the transformation. They both sat down that night and started singing. And they were singing about the pastimes of the Lord. They were singing and singing. Next day morning, Vilvamangal Thakur didn't say anything. He just got up and left. And he started walking from the Bhima River towards the north. And when he started walking, Raman, we might go some 5-10 minutes extra on this class. Is that okay, or should I speed up? Because we will then have to take questions. How is the?
Prabhu, absolutely no issues, Prabhu. Please carry on.
It's not okay because I don't know whether it's a morning lecture, so people have to go to office or. But
no, Prabhu. You can carry on. Those who cannot make it, they can watch it on YouTube later. The recording is happening.
Okay. So, Vilvamangal Thakur, I didn't want to speed it up because it's a very important story. So, Vilvamangal Thakur started to walk. He left his village. He left his family when he realized everything. Father is gone. His wife is also gone. He walked up and reached near Pandharpur, beyond Pandharpur. So he was nearby. If you say he was in Andhra, he walked up. And he went back to the Vaishnava guru called Somagiri. So this is one of the 4 sampradayas. I am not sure which one. It is, I think, Kumar Sampradaya, if I'm not wrong. So he went to his guru Somagiri. And so he confided everything to him. He said that this is what happened. I was very learned, but I started associating with prostitute. And this is what happened. So he said, so as Vaishnavas do, he made him sit down. He gave him the mantra, gave him the chanting. And the chanting, of course, can clear all the offenses. That doesn't mean we have to chant and do offenses, but he started practicing Krishna consciousness, prasadam, 4 regulative principles, chanting regularly. This is the cleansing that happens. And very soon, within a few months, he was fully, because he was already a very nice person, and just for a brief time, he went out off path. He became completely purified. And this purification happens because when Krishna's name touches the heart, it produces a different taste. Who has said that? Person from the same, another person near the Bhima River has said that. Another devotee. Who is that? From the same province, Rukmini ji. Rukmini has said that Shrutvan gunan bhuvana sundaran shunvatam te nirvishya karna vivarai harato angatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labam tvai achyuta vishati chittam apatrapam me. Shrutvan gunan. If you hear the guna of Krishna, how should we hear? Shrutvan gunan bhuvana sundaran shunvatam. Shrutvan gunan bhuvana sundaran, the beauty of the whole world. Either you say the person who is most beautiful in the world, or the person due to whom the entire world has beauty. Bhuvana sundaram shunvatam te. How to hear? Nirvishya karna vivarai harato angatapam. This karna is completely nirvishya. It is on the pastime you are hearing completely. And when can the holes of the ear be completely on the pastime? When your mind is steady. Chitta is steady, when it is steady, you can hear, and he is hearing. And what happens when you hear? Nirvishya karna vivarai harato angatapam. The entire heat of the body, which is due to desires, samsara dava, samsara davanal, the forest fire inside of the heart. As soon as the nectarian rain of Krishna's name comes in and touches, heart becomes pacified. So those who have done Bhakti Shastri, nectar of devotion, one of the first effects of chanting the holy name is, right? What is that? It extinguishes the forest.
Kleshagni.
Huh?
Kleshagni.
Klesha, yes. Kleshagni. So it completely harato angata rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labam. Rupam drisham, you see the form of the Lord. The chitta becomes completely, the Krishna enters the heart. You can see the form, the core of the heart, the bottom part of the mind, which is chitta, or the place where the soul is connected to the body. Chetana comes in chitta. When Krishna comes into the chitta, then everything is completely taken up. And now I am saying that I am in love with you, apatradma, without any shame. Because if somebody writes a love letter in those days, Krishna will say, where have you seen me? How come you fall in love with me? Did you see in Facebook, WhatsApp? Where did you see? No. The point is, she heard the pastime and she saw the form of the Lord in the heart, and seeing the form of the Lord in the heart, she fell in love. Right? So that is what is given in the Caritamrta sloka, that if you hear Krishna Karnamrita, you will see the form of the Lord, you will get the taste of the pastimes, and you will fall in love. Pure devotional service for Krishna will happen. So that is what happened to Bilvamangal Thakur. And with that in mind, then he said, I will go to where Krishna did his pastimes, which is Vrindavan. Right? So he started walking north of Pandharpur towards Vrindavan. And when he started walking, I don't know exactly where his Guru's ashram was, but I think north. He then started walking. In between, I think he came to one of the villages as he was walking. And like every devotee who is walking through, sometimes the Brahmanas in the village will say, please come out. Devotees in the village will say, please come to my house and have prasad. So he was walking, or I think that was not, he was walking, and I think there was one lady, just doing some work in the courtyard of the house. When Bilvamangal Thakur saw, he again became very attractive. And she saw a sannyasi-like person coming, so she said, please come inside the house. But he was looking like this and coming. So she made him sit slightly upstairs, and she came to her husband and said, look, there is some sannyasi-like person who has come, seems to be a very effulgent person, but he is looking at me in very different lustful manner. So why don't you please go to him and see what is that that's possible. So immediately the husband went to him, paid obeisance, said, we are very fortunate that you have come to our house. How is that we can serve you? So then he made a very extraordinary request. He said, I don't want any food, I don't want prasad, nothing. I want to meet your wife alone. This person became very surprised. What is he saying? Sannyasi-like person. And he was stunned. He came down and said, he's saying like this. His wife said, let us see what is he wanting to do. He's a sannyasi person, we should not just offend. We'll see what is the point. So she took some prasad and she went to meet him. By the time Krishna had given the intelligence back, suddenly he realized what was happening. Bilvamangal Thakur suddenly realized, what am I doing? I became attracted to a prostitute. Now I am becoming attracted to another woman. Even after going to Guru, taking Diksha, what is happening to me? So when the lady came, he saw the lady. He said, what is that you want? Why are you asking me to meet me alone? He said, do you wear in your braid, do you wear hairpin? She said, yes, I wear hairpins. He said, give me 2 hairpins. So she took 2 hairpins and gave it to him. Then and there, he took the hairpins, pierced his eyes and took out his eyes. And he said, because of these eyes, I am getting attracted so much to women and other objects, because the senses are like the fan. Even when you switch off, sometimes it keeps on going. Even after the chitta, if you're fully, Krishna is in the chitta, nothing will happen. But when you're trying to develop sadhana, sometimes the senses again get attracted. Again, this is not to be imitated. It's not that we have to pluck out our eyes. We have to chant better and hear better. Then it will clear these things. But here, Bilvamangal Thakur took an extreme step because his chitta was already on Krishna. So he said, internal. And these devotees are at a very high level, because like the same, if you've heard about Kuresh, Kuratalwan, he also didn't have eyes, but when Ramanacharya tested from internal, his spiritual eyes had opened, so he could see everything from his spiritual eyes. So these are advanced devotees. So he took out his hand. The lady became very, anguished. She ran to her husband. He came, Prabhu, what are you doing? But he said, nothing, I want to go like this. And he walked. Now he's going through the forest towards Vrindavan, and he can't even see. And there are so many, even now you go on Parikrama, Govardhan, there are places where there are kundas, there are, creepers. It's very difficult to walk. Now he's going through forest to reach Vrindavan. So sometimes he's falling on the thorns, sometimes he's striking into a tree. He's all battered, bruised. And he was walking, he was almost going to fall into a ditch. Somebody caught his hand. And the moment somebody caught his hand, he became completely enlivened. What is happening? Then he said, small boy, he said, Baba, where are you going? He said, I want to go to Vrindavan. He said, okay, no problem. I will take you to Vrindavan. Come. So he took his hand, started to travel. So every day in the evening, they used to sit down. And this boy used to bring him a kind of a pot of milk. And because he doesn't know where to get food, he's walking through the jungle. He used to have that milk and feel so enlivened, he used to compose songs. Because he was so much in love with Krishna, so he used to sing about Krishna's pastimes. And when he used to sing, this boy used to sit and listen very eagerly. So like this, every evening passed, and after some time, he came to Vrindavan, and near Brahma Sarovar or Brahma Kunda, in Vrindavan, in Braj, he came to near that Kunda, and boy said, you stay here. But he said, oh, you don't go away. You are so nice. You are the only one I can talk to. He said, no worry, I will come every evening. I'll bring you a pot of milk. So every evening, this boy used to come and bring a pot of milk, and he used to drink that milk. And he was doing, and when you do your bhajan in Vrindavan, of course, every temple that Prabhupada has made is Vrindavan. So you do meditation in any of the temples of Prabhupada or in Braja, you start getting the sweetness of Krishna's pastime. And when the pastimes, when the Krishna's name started entering the heart, he started to see the form of the Lord. Nam, Roop, and from the form, you will then start having the guna. Suddenly see there is a fragrance coming. From fragrance, you have to smell with the nose, but when you're seeing in the heart, you can see the fragrance. There is Chandan, his eyes are looking very mercifully. All these qualities of Krishna, you will start to understand. And from the qualities, then the Leela will start. This is like if you are somebody who had an old TV, just to give material example, the olden days we used to have a TV and we used to have an antenna, right? So first you would switch on the TV, put antenna, some grains will come, right? Nothing clear. So you tune, then some bit of picture, Rupa will come, right? And tune, you can hear some sound also and things also. And then you tune very nice, the serial will start, right? So that is how it is. When you tune your chitta with the holy name, touching, for that your senses, mind, intelligence will align. If it is like 3-4 different cups, it cannot go. But if it is aligned, holy name will go directly to the chitta, the false ego will dissolve, and then the antenna will connect. Then you can, that's why Prabhupada used to say the Shika is the antenna, right? When it connects, then you can see first form, Naam, say form, then Roop, then Guna, some of the qualities, and then pastime. So pastime started to manifest in the heart of Bilu Mangal Thakur. Then he started seeing, though externally he cannot see, internally he could see some of the pastimes of Krishna. Then seeing the pastimes, he started writing. And what did he write? What did he write?
Krishna Karnamrta.
Krishna Karnamrta. And who was listening?
Krishna himself.
Krishna was listening, and he used to give pleasure to the ears of Krishna. And what did he write? See, when you write, if you've seen Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, who's Prabhupada's book, it starts, Bhagavad Gita, first what they said, Om Ajnana Dimranandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So, the first invocation line it is written is for Guru. Right? What did Krishna, who was the Guru of Bilumangal Thakur?
Chintamani.
Huh?
Chintamani.
Chintamani? Who gave initiation? Somagiri.
Somagiri.
Yes. But you are right. Bhaknath Mukund Prabhu, you are right, actually. He said, Chintamanir Jayati Somagirir Gurur Me Shiksha Guruscha Bhagavan Chikipincha Moli Yatpada Kalpataro Pallava Shekareshu Leela Swayamvara Rasam Labate Jayashrim Leela Swayamvara Rasam Labate Jayashrim Chintamanir Jayati Somagirir Gurur Me. First name he took of Chintamani. Why? You will see in Chintamani Jayati. All glories to Chintamani. Somagirir Guru. Both of them are my gurus. Somagiri and Chintamani. How Chintamani Guru? She took you out of the... No. There are three types of gurus. One is Pada Padarshak Guru. Pada Padarshak Guru is somebody who shows the way. The other is Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru. Right? Now, Pada Pataksha Guru might not be a very elevated person. So, for example, it might be a new devotee who has given you a book. When you are traveling somewhere, you met some ISKCON devotee, he gave you a Bhagavad Gita, like book distribution is going on, right? That devotee might not be a very great sannyasi, or at least initially, he might be a new devotee. But he has shown you, he or she has shown you the path towards Krishna, right? So they are called Pada Padaksha. They are initial, they might not be very advanced. And in this case, it was not somebody who was following the rules and regulations apparently, right? But he is giving the credit. And the person who gave Diksha is Somagiri. Chintamani Jayati Somagirir Guru Me. Who's the Chintamani Jayati Somagirir Guru Me? Shiksha Guruscha Bhagavan Chikipincha Moli. So Pada Padaksha Guru is Chintamani, Diksha Guru is Somagiri. Who is Shiksha Guru?
Krishna.
Shiksha Guruscha.
Krishna Siksha Guru.
Yes. Shiksha Guruscha Bhagavan Chikipincha Moli. One was peacock feather. He himself is the Shiksha. And Yatpada Kalpataru Pallava Shekareshu Leela Swayamvara Rasam Labate Jayashim. That Shiksha Guru, the person whose lotus feet, when you meditate, what happens? Under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees, I'm reading from this thing. The transcendental rasa is obtained by whom? Jayashri. Who is Jayashri? Jayashri in Vrindavan refers to Radha. Jayashri is a confidential name of Radharani. So from whose lotus feet, whose pastimes Radharani gets the rasa, that Shiksha, that Krishna is my Shiksha. So which means Vrindavan Krishna, not the Dwaraka Krishna or the Mathura Krishna, right? Vrajendra Nandan Krishna. So he is seeing the pastimes. And every day he starts to write. He is writing intimate pastimes of Krishna with the gopis. Leela Kishoram, he sees the youthful form of Krishna. And he is writing, and the songs became very famous. Right? And when the songs became very famous, suddenly, when Bilomangal Thakur had left, Chintamani also left that village. And Chintamani had gone to, I think, Haridwar or somewhere there, Rishikesh, Haridwar, she had gone. And she was playing on her veena, right? On her sitar or whatever. And one day she was playing, right? And she had heard from many travelers, pilgrims. So they used to go to Vrindavan, they used to go to Haridwar. She had said that there is a young sannyasi in Vrindavan and he sings songs of the Lord. So what had happened was, in between, when she was playing her sitar, one day this one string, the string of the sitar broke. Tung. And at that moment, she knew that something has happened to Bilomangal Thakur. That is when Bilomangal Thakur plucked out his eyes. So they had that connection in the heart, such subtle spiritual connection, that she knew something had happened. So she thought either Bilomangal Thakur had died or something has happened. But when she started to hear there is a young sannyasi and the songs that he had composed, then she said, this must be, so I have to go and find. So she traveled from there and she came to near Brahmakund in Vrindavan. And Bilomangal Thakur was singing. And when Chintamani entered, he could immediately. And when Chintamani entered, he immediately paid obeisances. He said, my Guru has come. Now, as the initiation had happened and he was meditating on the pastimes of Krishna, this is why it is said that when you hear the Bhagavatam, the lust in the heart is completely Kama Lobha Dayaschayi. The lust is completely taken out. Because the sweetness of Krishna's love comes, then the lust is gone. Right? Spiritual love comes, lust. So there was no lust between them. And he paid obeisances. Chintamani was crying, he was crying. And they were looking at each other. He cannot see, but he paid obeisance. He said, thank you for showing me this path. And she was also crying. At this point, they were remembering. Now, with Krishna consciousness, you get full remembrance, full intelligence. Why is this happened? What was the pastime? Why was this happening? What happened was in the previous life. And this is a pastime which is there in rarer circles. One time, His Holiness Sachinand Maharaj narrated this pastime in Vrindavan, and I was able to hear that. In fact, today's lecture, I had no time to prepare. I just got a message in the morning that 9:10 I saw that 9:30 there is a lecture. So I said, let me open and see what is the verse. And when I opened, I saw Bilomangal Thakur. So I said, okay, now at least I've listened to a lecture. I can speak something. Right? So this is how Krishna plays. So what His Holiness Sachinand Maharaj said, that in the previous life, Chintamani was actually a daughter of a very big king. She was a very young princess. And Bilomangal Thakur was a sannyasi. Bilomangal Thakur was a sannyasi and he liked to serve the Vaishnavas. Right? See, service is a very good thing. But he liked to serve the Vaishnavas. So what he used to do is he used to organize big feasts for all the Brajavasis or all the Vaishnavas and so on, all the sannyasis. But he had this slight thing or whatever he had. He wanted to serve the devotees, but he wanted to make sure they are served very well. So he used to collect money from various places. So one time a big feast was announced. And then what happened is he gave the feast, then more people started coming. So he immediately needed some money. So what happened was, in the king's palace, this princess was a very nice young girl. She used to always be meditating on Krishna, almost like Mirabai. She used to be a very, very nice person. But she suddenly died very young. And because she died, the king and the mother became very, very sorrowful. They were very sad. And the big procession came. And in the jungle, they buried the girl. And they put and because she died young, I don't know why they didn't burn her. They buried the girl and they put all the gold and everything there. And when Bilomangal Thakur he saw so much big procession is coming, so much gold and everything is put. Then he became very this thing. And after everybody had gone, he started digging the grave. And when he started digging the grave, the girl's soul was there. She spoke. She was a very advanced person. She spoke, "Don't disturb my privacy." She spoke. She was meditating and she had almost, or externally, she had left the body, but she said, "Don't disturb my privacy." But Bilvamangal Thakur was like, "Okay, find your privacy, but I need to serve here. No, so I have more important things to do." So he started taking some of the gold. He said, "Okay, take." Then he saw there is a necklace here, the dead body. And under the cloth, he saw just a bit of necklace. Then he said he was going to take the necklace. Then she said, "No, please do not intrude into my privacy." But Bilvamangal Thakur didn't listen. He removed the cloth and took the necklace. Then she cursed him. She said, "You are sannyasi, you are removing the cloth of a young girl and taking the necklace. You want to serve, but you have this thing that I need to do it very nicely. And when the devotees are coming, I cannot, or whoever is coming, I cannot give them less. My prestige will go," whatever it was. Or what, by the divine arrangement of Krishna, she said, "Next life, I will come and deviate you from the path of this thing, of your spirituality. You have disturbed me, I will disturb you." But these, both of them had a divine connection. So next life, when this girl, princess, came as Chintamani and this sannyasi came as Bilvamangal Thakur, they were naturally attracted from previous life. But this pastime was so arranged that Bilvamangal Thakur went into material, what do you call, parakya, going away from somebody who's not your wife. And from there, he turned back into Krishna consciousness. And now he had come into Vrindavan. He had complete mellow. I'm not trying to say material experience gives you spiritual thing. Don't mistake me. But he had the complete mellow of Parakya Rasa. Parakya Rasa means there is a rasa in Vrindavan where it looks like the gopis are wives of somebody else, but Krishna is doing pastimes. And so he could see the Parakya Rasa and sing about the Parakya Rasa. So when Chintamani and Bilvamangal Thakur were looking at each other, they remember when the devotee gets to that stage and he obtains Krishna, he understands how merciful Krishna has been to take him through like this, like this, like this. He's taking him to the Parakya Rasa, which nobody can understand. Even the most advanced devotee, Brahma, Lord Shiva, cannot understand. But Krishna took Bilvamangal Thakur to that place, that rasa. And in that rasa, what he has written is Krishna Karna. And Chintamani looked at him and said, "You are so very fortunate. That Krishna himself has taken you to this place." Then Bilvamangal Thakur said, "Oh, Krishna has been very, very merciful. And you have been my guru. Without you, I wouldn't have obtained that mercy. And you have come and I am not even able to greet you. So let me give you something, but I don't have anything. I will call that boy who always brings milk. At least I should give milk." She said, "No, don't disturb anybody. Don't disturb anybody. I am very fallen. I've just disturbed you from your path." He said, "No, you are my guru. And I wish you will also get the same." He knew that Chintamani was already very advanced. She was also very high devotee of Krishna. He said, "I wish that I get the same experience. You get the same experience that I got." And when he wished like that, immediately the boy appeared with a pot of kheer or, milk that he used to bring. And Chintamani saw. Externally, Bilvamangal Thakur was not seeing. But he saw that Krishna himself is standing before him. He immediately, because that boy was Krishna himself. And what wonder, beautiful, lotus feet, Pitambar, and Barha Pitam Natavarvapum, Karnayo Karnikaram, बिभ्रद्वाशा कनककपिशन् वैजयन्तीं च मालाम् रन्ध्रान् वेणोरदरसुदया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दै वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्राविशद्गीतकीर्ति. Bhagavatam describes the beautiful form of Krishna when he enters the forest along with Balram. That beautiful form Chintamani saw. Pitambara, Vaijayanti, Mala, Shikipincha Mauli, the peacock feather, Karnika flower in his ears. She saw that wonderful form of Krishna. She paid obeisances, and Krishna gave her the milk. When she drank, completely she was immersed in that past. And now, Bilvamangal Thakur Chintamani, the same people, they were guru and disciple. They had no lust. And they are sitting together, and they are sitting. Bilvamangal Thakur meditated on the pastimes of Krishna, and he saw how Krishna is playing with the gopis. And he wrote Krishna Karnamrta, and he wrote some wonderful verses, 112 verses of Krishna Karnamrta. He wrote some so wonderful verses. Every verse has a different meter, Krishna Karnamrta. Pallavarunapani pankaj sangi venuravakulam fulla patala patali parivadi pada saroruham ullasan madhuradharadyuti manjari sarasananam Vallavi kuchakumba kumkuma pankilam prabhumashaye Pallavaruna pani pankaja sangi venu ragavakulam. His lotus feet are like the palva, like the leaves, the palla flower. Pallavaruna pani pankaja sangi venu. So I won't go into the details of the verse because it's a very rasika verse. But he is playing along with the gopis, these beautiful young boys with the gopis, and his lotus feet are so wonderful. And he is lying and with his consorts, almost on the chest, he has kept the head and he is lying. Right? So such verse, very intimate verses, Bilvamangal Thakur wrote. And he got this wonderful rasa because of the life experiences, how he was taken through. So Krishna is always very merciful. Of course, he didn't approach Radha. You get approached Radha, it would have been easier. It would have been direct, easier. But with Krishna, it's always like this. But he has taken him and he made him compose Krishna Karnamrta. So when Caitanya Caritamrta, in the mood of Radharani, when he recovered this Krishna Karnamrta, he became ecstatic. Because that is the wealth, that is the pastime, that is the exact mood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in, the pastime of Krishna with the gopis, and especially with Radharani. Leela Swayamvara Rasam Labate Jayesh. So Radharani gets the rasa from this, and that rasa, Krishna Karnamrta, today he recovered from the banks of river Krishna, Bhima, and that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy, and the two jewels he has recovered, Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamrta. Taking that Krishna Karnamrta, he went ahead, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has wonderfully blessed us all that one who reads, hears this Krishna Karnamrta will certainly attain pure devotional service. He can see the form of the Lord. He will get the taste of Krishna's pastime. The taste of Krishna's pastime, the sweetness is there in that Krishna Karnamrta because he, Bilvamangal Thakur has tasted that Parakya Rasa. He has drank the milk, he has heard the pastimes, he has seen the pastime, Nam, Rup, Gun, Leela. He has had experience and he is writing as revealed by Krishna himself. So we are very fortunate that today we could discuss, and I am very happy that I could speak on this verse. It's Krishna's divine arrangement and the mercy of all the devotees. I hope and pray that we can continue our Krishna consciousness undeviated and reach at least a drop of this nectar if we can relish, following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. And that is why, in a very quick word, the way Srila Prabhupada has advised us to get this nectar is by chanting and helping distribute this nectar. We are not qualified for this nectar, but if we distribute this nectar, we'll get the nectar. So this month, we are all distributing books. This is Gopi Seva. You can understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in the mood of Radharani, Swarup Damodar Ramanand Rai, have all Lalita Vishaka Sakhi have come to assist, and Rupa Goswami, all Manjaris have come. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also Manjari, he has translated the books into Bengali. Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj meditated on the pastimes and Rupa Goswami wrote many books. Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj has established the printing press to publish these books. And Srila Prabhupada has translated it into English language. Then what is left for us? Distribute. So, and that our Guru Maharaj are already doing, and we are to assist in that Leela of distributing books. So for us, the way to get Krishna Karnamrita is by distributing the books and then chanting the holy names and making the holy names touch the chitta. That is a different lecture on, that's a japa lecture on how holy name can touch the heart. But this is what we will do. So we need not follow Bilomangal Thakur in the very path the way he did, but we take inspiration that when whatever Krishna takes us through, it is ultimately going to give us that nectar. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I've gone way over time, but I somehow did not want to shorten this. I apologize if I've eaten into anybody's time or any mistakes. I have not prepared, but what I remembered from the past time, maybe some places names could be out of sync. You can refer and correct the same. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for wonderfully taking us through the pastime of Bilomangal Thakur. It actually very important for sadhakas that every time it keeps reminding us that we have to remain on the right path. Though there always can be some disturbances in the journey, but we need to help each other to remain in the path of Krishna consciousness and advance and go back into Godhead together. So I have one question. Not a question, actually, it's a doubt. Being blind, in the sense not able to see Bilomangal Thakur, how could he write the book? Because sometime someone was telling that Bilomangal Thakur was reciting the slokas and Krishna himself was writing. I don't know whether it was right, because if we try to use our mundane senses to understand how he could write, maybe it is beyond our understanding. But somehow when I heard that, no, actually he was reciting the slokas and Krishna was writing. So that actually, I felt, oh, that may be right. So can you please?
Yeah, that is possible. That is definitely possible. I've also heard this. Maybe he was reciting, Krishna was writing. That is also possible. So I don't know. I don't have a reference to it, but that is certainly possible. Yes. At the same time, like we spoke about Kura Talwan, Kuresh, see the actual eyes, this eye is actually only a instrument. Right? The actual, like we wear glasses, like you're wearing glasses. It's not the glasses which sees. It's the eyes behind the glasses which see, right? Similarly, the eyes which see are the spiritual eyes, of the eyes of the soul, right? And so some people have this eye, but they cannot see because internally the connection is not there, right? Or if the soul leaves the body, the eyes cannot see. So actual seeing is done by the spiritual eyes, and when the spiritual eyes awaken, or when the soul awakens from its sleep, then it can see everything, the spiritual world internally. Then what you see is very different. It's not this material world that you see the spiritual world. And in that spiritual body, you act. Rupa Goswami and all used to meditate and write in that spiritual body. Right? So, yes, externally speaking, it is possible that Krishna was writing. But if Bilomangal Thakur or Chintamani wrote, I don't know who Krishna wrote, Chintamani wrote, but spiritually, when he was advanced, maybe when he was walking through Vrindavan to the forest of Vrindavan, maybe Krishna has written down. But when he was spiritually advanced, I'm sure Bilomangal Thakur himself can write from that point. But we don't know. You said it is beyond, like you correctly said, beyond our understanding. But it is divine either way. Whether Bilomangal Thakur wrote or Krishna wrote, I think the pastimes are some things which he saw. the divine pastimes. He saw and then he is written. So it is not imagination. These are not books of imagination. They're divine. Yes, very nice question. Very wonderful.
Devotees have any questions? Actually, you see, none of them have left because the master is so nectarian, and the way you have been explaining this, completely immersed in this. So, because by this time, based on my experience, at least 5-10 people have left the session, and 30-30 as it is, the whole strength is there almost like in the beginning. Thank you so much. Devotees have any questions, comments, clarifications?
Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, your name is Achintya. So the pastimes you have told about Bilavam Thakur is we just know about the present life, but previous life today only we came to know. So nectarian. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have this personal, your realization, want to understand how in Kali Yuga, most of you mentioned that previously all ladies come outside and dance in the functions and ceremonies, like marriage ceremony or something. But now in current generation, mostly all house members and other members are dancing. So how to take in whether this is the right way we are moving or how we understand?
Yes, it's a very difficult question. It's a social question.
Yeah.
However, I would, and because also it's streaming in YouTube, I don't want to say something wrong, but I think the general way of understanding this is, see, as preachers of Krishna consciousness, we try to follow the example which Srila Prabhupada has given us, which is that we try to see the good in everything. So Srila Prabhupada came across people who are drug addicts, but he saw the good, that they are trying to experience a higher bliss. So he told them, please take this name, chanting. What is the benefit of this? None of the drug addicts can understand, but he told them in a way that they can understand. He said, you will be high forever. You don't have to come down. The problem drug addicts have is they go in high and they have to come down and then they have to again take drugs. So he said, you'll be high forever. So then say, high forever, oh, very nice, we will take this. It's free. Right? So similarly, Kaler dosha nide rajan asti ekor mahan guna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha parayati. So Kali Yuga has many doshas. One of the doshas you have said, right? Previously, ladies used to cover their hair, this thing and everything. And men also used to be very different. So there used to be characteristics. They used to never look at a different lady. They used to keep their eyes down. Lakshmana has said that I cannot recognize these jewels, necklace of Sita Devi and everything. I can only recognize the anklets, Nupur, because I only seen her feet. I have not seen beyond feet. So he is living every day with Sita Ji and Ram, but he has not seen beyond the feet. So that is the quality of men at that point in time. But today, because of social circumstances, that are not there. Right? So, but we don't try to take this yuga back into that yuga. Right? Now trying to say everybody has to wear parda or everybody has to do that. Even if you go to office, you can only see feet, you cannot see the face. That's not practical. Right? But what we do imbibe is the purity of the heart. And that we do because we have the strongest medicine of chanting. We chant. The first step is we try to get our mind to hear the Hare Krishna touch, then goes inside, as it goes to the chitta, the person becomes as chaste as the previous yugas or even more. Right? So what we encourage our families and everybody to do is to chant. And if they want to dance, devotees also have marriage. When they want to dance, they dance with Krishna conscious songs. Like there was a temple opening in the north. They organized some of the devotees to sing, and after a temple opening, they were all dancing. Right? It was dancing, but it is dancing to the songs of Krishna. So we are just replacing the material with Krishna. Right? So that way, you don't get into these social debates of trying to say, oh, you have to wear this thing. Then they will say, you have to look at your only the feet. You should not lift. Then we'll have a sprain in the neck. So we don't want to get into those problems. We try to put Krishna in the way Srila Prabhupada has done. Right? So even when you are raising children, we don't try to give them these rules, the rules so much that they run away from Krishna consciousness, but rather we try to see what is their mind interested in, and we introduce Krishna consciousness. That is the work of a preacher. Right? Does that answer your question? No?
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you. Wonderful classes, Prabhuji. You are the perfect driver, Prabhuji. This came to my mind one thing to share you. Already we are everybody try to go to the Goloka Vrindavan. Already path created by our acharyas, previous acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. So you are the perfect driver to take to all the bus with the passengers nicely without anything that they same consciousness to take to the Goloka Vrindavan.
Our Guru Maharaj are the drivers, so we are following. We are cleaners of the bus. He just, very blessed as a kili, they say, cleaner.
So it's very fantastic. That's why there's a Srila Prabhupada also mentioning one of the quote, if you are maintain the association with of the devotees, your life will be happy and perfect. This is Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this one, the quote as well. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your association. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams.
Any other questions, comments, devotees? Before we end the session? Swarup Krishna Prabhu. Vibhor.
Somebody,
Oh, I saw your hand was raising. Swarup Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you mentioned about that you have referred some lecture for this. I mean, mind blowing. In 10 minutes or 20 minutes time, how could you come out with so much of marvel and so much of nectar? If you could give us the reference to that lecture. And number two is, you talked about a second lecture, which was on the holy name. That there are even more insightful depths regarding the holy name. If you could refer both of these lectures,
yes,
we would
very
be
much.
obliged.
Yes, this nectar is granted. So you go to vihe.org. Right? I heard this lecture live in Vrindavan. But if you want to hear the lecture, go to vihe.org. Go to retreats. VIH organizes 2 retreats, Japa retreat and Govardhan retreat. These are, I would say, the jewels of ISKCON. There are many programs, many yatras, many lectures we attend in ISKCON, but these retreats are so organized that it is organized on the foothills of Govardhan. And 7 days, His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj and His Grace Burijan Prabhu, Her Grace Charitamrta Mataji, and many other senior Vaishnavas, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj, many others give lectures. And the program is a retreat. It is to go away from your material things and go deeper into the heart to see Krishna by the mercy of Giriraj Govardhan. So there are 2 retreats. One is the Japa retreat, which is for focusing on the chanting, and another is Govardhan retreat, where you have Katha. So I heard this in the Govardhan retreat. So I think it is 2019, if I'm not wrong. So if you go to retreats page and you go to Sachinandan Maharaj's lectures in the retreat of 2019, you will find over 5 lectures. He explained the pastimes of Bilva Mangal Thakur in that this thing. So you can definitely hear that. I just try to summarize it. I might have missed a few things, but very beautifully is given that lecture. So that lecture you can refer to. That is the answer to the first question. And the second question, the same page, go up, you will see Japa retreats of many years, where His Grace Burijan Prabhu, His Holiness Burijan Prabhu, and everybody else has given tips on Japa. It is 6 days, 5-6 days of just Japa, but because of association of devotees, blessings of Maharaj and senior devotees, and tips on how to do Japa, your Japa goes much, much deeper. So you can hear some of the Japa retreat lectures. One Japa retreat, if you hear 5 days, you will know how to sort of go deeper. And I just came back from one of the Govardhan retreats just 2 days back. And this time it was on Smaran. How do you chant and you can remember Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. And this Japa retreat that you are saying is of which year? Because the other one is 2019.
Same
this
year.
Is of which year?
Same year.
Same year.
But any year you hear, you will get some of the details on Japa. But 2019.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very good.
If I got the date wrong, you can go up and down and see which other.
Yeah. Understood.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think no more questions from devotees. So we can conclude the session. You stopped at 308, right? Or 309?
30, I'll just tell you. Yeah, 309.
309, yeah. So Lord carried both the books. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare-
Prabhu. Hare
Prabhu,
Yeah.
मैं हिंदी में पूछता
my
हूँ।
father-in-law wants to ask something in
Yes,
Hindi.
please go ahead. Please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
धन्यवाद प्रभु।
मैं बात कर सकता हूँ?
बिल्कुल
कर-
बताइए।
तो मेरा एक जो है प्रश्न ये है कि श्री कृष्ण भगवान के मन में जो ये भागवत गीता लिखने के जो विचारा है, वो विचार कौन उनको प्रकट किए और उनके मन में विचार कहाँ से आया है? तो मेरा ये जो इसने इतनी बड़ी जो भागवत उन्होंने लिखी है और हर जो प्राणी को जो प्रेरित कर रहे हैं, वो कहाँ से उनके मन में विचार आया? जैसे प्रभु तो अपने को क्या है मालूम है, सत्यनारायण प्रभु बहुत प्रभु है, इन्होंने इतनी बड़ी जो भागवत गीता लिखी है और उनके दिमाग में इतनी बड़ी जो प्रेरणा आई है, आज तक कोई भगवान इतना नहीं लिख सका भागवत गीता। तो उसके बारे में उनके मन में विचार कहाँ से आया?
बहुत बहुत उत्तम प्रश्न, बहुत ही सुंदर प्रश्न। इतना प्रश्न, ये ऐसा प्रश्न मन में आना ही मतलब भगवान का विशेष कृपा है आप पे, क्यों ये प्रश्न आपके मन में आया। तो इसके दो उत्तर हैं। एक तो वेदव्यास जी ने लिखा ये भागवत और भगवत गीता, और उनको उनके गुरु नारद मुनि ने प्रेरणा दिया। लेकिन भगवान ने जो भगवत गीता सुनाया उसके बारे में आप प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं। तो वो जो भगवत गीता है, जो भगवत गीता के पृष्ठ में इसका एक क्लू मिलता है, स्पष्ट नहीं कहा है लेकिन क्लू मिलता है कि जब अर्जुन के साथ युद्ध भूमि में थे और भगवान जब बात कर रहे थे अपने भक्तों के बारे में, सडनली एक जगह पे हमारे आचार्य विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर ने लिखा है कि एक जगह पे जब बोधयंत परस्परम कथयंतस्य माम नित्यम तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च, जब भक्तों के बारे में बोल रहे थे, कृष्ण बोलते बोलते एकदम चुप हो जाते हैं और पूरा स्मरण में चले जाते हैं। उनको युद्ध भूमि में खड़े खड़े उनको याद आ जाता है गोपियों के बारे में, जो वृंदावन में उनके बचपन में गोपियां थी, और वो कितने बहुत प्रेम से ये कथा सुनाते थे, कितना प्रेम से वो चीज याद आ जाता है। तो सडनली उसके बाद अर्जुन देखते हैं अरे तो कहीं और चले गए, तो इसलिए उसको पर ब्रह्म पर धाम पुरुषम पवान करके उनको वापस लेके आते इस यादगार। तो जब वो याद करते हैं तो गोपियों के जो प्रमुख है राधा रानी का हृदय एक माता की तरह, आप ये समझ सकते हैं। अब एक माता का क्या होता है, समझ लीजिए माता के 100 बच्चे, एक बच्चा भी गुम जाता है तो क्या करती हैं, उसी बच्चे को अगर वो अपना पति है उनको बोलते हैं वो बच्चे को वापस लेके आओ, वापस लेके आओ, वापस लेके आओ, राइट। तो राधा रानी जो है, उनके बहुत सारे बच्चे इस दुनिया में घूम रहे हैं, वृंदावन से निकल के जेल में आ गए। तो राधा रानी की ये इच्छा है कि कृष्ण इनको सबको वापस कहाँ लेके आए, वृंदावन या गोलोक वृंदावन लेके। इसलिए राधा रानी ने उनको प्रेरित किया कि तुम जाओ भागवत गीता सुनाओ, भागवत सुनाओ, और उससे सारे लोग समझेंगे कि हम तो गलत जगह आ गए हैं और वापस माता पिता के घर वापस जाए। तो ये प्रेरणा किसका है? ये अगर पति कुछ करता है तो प्रेरणा पत्नी का ही हो सकता है, सही है कि नहीं? तो ये राधा रानी की प्रेरणा है जिसकी वजह से इस सारी चीजें।
थैंक यू प्रभु। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
हरे बोल। थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Guruji, for asking a nice question or answering that so beautifully. So
Thank you.
we
Thank you
can
so much.
conclude the session, and thank you very much, Guruji, once again.
Thank you. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा
Achintya Gopesha Prabhu ki jai.
Hey.
Thank you very much, all the devotees. So we will conclude session here, and we will continue next week from